I looked at the birth certificate, and the world stopped spinning. It wasn't a mistake, not a bad joke, but a cold, hard piece of paper stating that my wife, the woman I'd shared a bed with for 15 years, had given birth to a son *** 6 months before we even met *** 6 months. That meant she'd started our life together carrying an enormous, crushing secret. A whole human being she had birthed, and then somehow hidden. I had always believed our foundation was rock solid, built on love and absolute honesty, but in that moment I realized I'd been living in a beautifully constructed prison of lies. My whole reality had just been annihilated. Tell me, honestly, if you discovered a secret child your spouse had been hiding for over a decade, would you have done what I did next? Would you have been able to keep your cool, or would you have simply burned everything to the ground? It began like most great betrayals do, with something small, something easily overlooked, a tiny snag in the perfect tapestry of our life. My name is Alex, and my wife is Clara. We were the couple everyone envied, 2 kids, 10-year-old Lily and 7-year-old Noah. A nice house in the suburbs, 2 stable careers. I'm a high school history teacher, and Clara runs a successful small online business selling handmade jewelry. Our life was good, comfortable, and predictable, which, honestly, is how I liked it. We met in our late 20s, and from the moment I saw her, I was smitten. Clara was vibrant, incredibly driven, and she had this quiet, soulful depth I adored. When we got married, I made a vow to cherish her, and I believed she did the same for me. For years, things were exactly as they appeared. We navigated the chaos of young kids, the stress of career changes, the boring necessity of home maintenance. But about a year ago, I started noticing anomalies. Clara became unavailable, not physically, not entirely, but emotionally and logistically. She started taking ** business trips, ** every 3 or 4 months. These weren't the 2-day craft fair excursions she used to do. These were 4 or 5-day trips to places like Denver, Seattle, or Portland, cities nowhere near the usual jewelry trade shows. She'd be vague about who she was meeting, why she had to go so far, and what exactly she was accomplishing. She'd explain that her online business was expanding into wholesale and required in-person meetings with suppliers and boutique owners. I didn't question it deeply. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? We shared bank accounts, calendars, and a bed. The financial strain was the next big clue. While Clara's business was doing well, the balance in our joint savings account, the one designated for Lily and Noah's college funds, was mysteriously dipping. Not huge, catastrophic amounts, but regular, smaller withdrawals, usually around $800 to $1,000, happening a week or so before one of her business trips. When I asked her about the funds, she was always ready with an answer. A new kiln she needed for larger orders, an expensive advertising campaign, covering a gap in her business accounts before a large invoice was paid. Again, plausible. She was the entrepreneurial one. I was the stable teacher. I deferred to her knowledge of her own business. The seed of doubt, however, was planted, growing slowly in the fertile ground of my subconscious. The moment everything cracked wide open happened 2 weeks ago. I was cleaning out the attic to get rid of some old furniture. Clara had a box of old college memorabilia and documents she asked me to look through, just to make sure we didn't accidentally throw away anything important, like her degree or tax returns from her first self-employed years. I dutifully opened the box. Beneath a stack of faded textbooks and silly photo albums, tucked inside a manila envelope labeled warranties, was a packet of documents. I initially thought they were old tax receipts, but as I unfolded the top one, the heading, bold and official, screamed at me, asterisk asterisk State of Oregon, birth certificate. Asterisk asterisk I froze. I had the birth certificates for Lily and Noah memorized, but this one. The name on the certificate wasn't Lily, and it wasn't Noah. It was asterisk asterisk Ethan James Miller asterisk asterisk. And then I looked at the parents' names. Father's name, asterisk asterisk, unlisted asterisk asterisk. Mother's name, asterisk asterisk, Clara Marie Miller asterisk asterisk, her maiden name. The date of birth was the shockwave, asterisk asterisk, November 14, 2007, asterisk asterisk. Clara and I officially started dating in May of 2008. The dates didn't just overlap. They were separated by 6 months. My hands started shaking so violently, I almost dropped the document. I sat down right there on the dusty attic floor, struggling to breathe. 6 months, a child, a son. Our relationship started, deepened, led to marriage and 2 more children, all while Clara carried the monumental secret of another child, a son named Ethan, born before me, who was now nearly 17 years old. My mind was a terrifying kaleidoscope of thoughts. Who was his father? Was he adopted? Was he with family? Where was he now? The realization hit me with the force of a truck. The business trips, the mysterious money withdrawals, they weren't for business at all. They were for asterisk asterisk Ethan asterisk asterisk. Clara wasn't running a business in Portland. She was visiting her hidden son. She was living a full, complete, secret life that I knew nothing about. I carefully put the birth certificate back, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I couldn't confront her immediately. I had to know everything to build my case, to prepare for the inevitable explosion. For the next 3 days, I became a phantom in my own house. I smiled at Clara, played with the kids, taught my classes, all while feeling like a zombie wearing my own skin. I felt a cold, deep fury, but also a profound sense of loss. 15 years of my life, my love, my trust. It was all based on a fundamental, cruel deception. I started my investigation. The first step was the withdrawals. I looked up the routing and account numbers on our bank statements, the ones associated with the regular $900 transfers. They weren't going to a business vendor. They were recurring payments to a rental property management company in Denver, Colorado. Denver, that was one of the cities she frequently visited. My next step was the name, Ethan James Miller. I did what any betrayed modern spouse would do. I became a private investigator. Using her maiden name and the city of Denver, I scoured social media. I found a profile, an almost private Instagram account belonging to asterisk asterisk Ethan M. Asterisk asterisk, the profile picture was a standard, moody teenage selfie, but the photos that followed were the final, crushing pieces of proof. There were photos of Ethan with an older woman, sometimes tagged as Aunt Kathy, who I vaguely recognized as a very distant cousin of Clarice. But most damning were the birthday posts. Happy 16th to my amazing son, posted by an account with a recognizable profile picture, an account I had never seen or known about, an account belonging to asterisk asterisk Clara's alter ego asterisk asterisk. The posts were deleted after a few days, obviously a part of her careful double life management, but they remained in the archives I found. In one of the photos, Ethan was wearing a high school basketball jersey. The school name was clearly visible, asterisk asterisk East, Wood High, Denver. Asterisk asterisk, I knew the layout of the house now, the lie, the money, the location, the person. My head spun with the sheer audacity of it all. She maintained a full-time family in the suburbs and another, hidden, part-time family 500 miles away. She was a mother to 2 kids here, and a mother to another there, with no one being fully honest with anyone. The grief and anger were almost paralyzing. How did she manage the logistics? The sheer mental load of 2 separate lives. She had to be a master-class liar, and I, the trusting husband, was the perfect dupe. I looked at Lily and Noah. My beautiful children. They loved their mother fiercely, relying on her presence, her structure, her love. The thought of shattering their world with this nuclear truth made my stomach clench. But the truth had to come out. I had to claim my integrity and my dignity back, and I had to, somehow, meet this boy who was technically my stepson, a boy who was Clara's flesh and blood, a boy who had been a ghost in my marriage for 15 years, so that's the situation I was in. I had the birth certificate, the bank records, the rental address, and the secret social media proof. I was staring down the barrel of a betrayal so deep it redefined reality. Before I tell you how I finally cornered her and what I did next, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have gone to Denver first to find Ethan, or would you have confronted Clara immediately? I was grappling with all of these choices, knowing that either move would detonate our life. I chose confrontation, but not the way she expected. I waited until Saturday morning. The kids were at a sleepover. Clara was sitting on the patio, enjoying her morning coffee and scrolling through her phone, serene and completely unaware of the bomb I was about to drop. I walked outside, placed the birth certificate gently on the table next to her mug, and then followed it with the bank statement showing the Denver rent payments. I didn't yell, I didn't scream, I just stood there, arms crossed, and waited. She looked up, annoyed at the interruption. Then her eyes landed on the documents. The color drained from her face faster than I thought possible. Her coffee mug rattled against the saucer as she placed it down. "Alex, what is this?" she stammered, her voice thin and reedy. I finally spoke, my voice low and steady, a terrifying calm I didn't know I possessed. "The birth certificate belongs to Ethan James Miller, born November 14, 2007. The mother listed is Clara Marie Miller. That is you. That date is 6 months before we started dating. The bank statement shows rent payments in Denver, Colorado, the city you visit for your wholesale business. I want to know who Ethan is, where he is, and why you have spent 15 years building a life with me that is fundamentally based on a lie." She didn't deny it. The dam broke immediately. Tears streamed down her face, but I wasn't moved. The tears of a liar hold no weight. "I was going to tell you, I swear, Alex," she sobbed, clutching the birth certificate to her chest. She launched into the classic story. She got pregnant in a brief, terrible relationship during college, just before she met me. She gave birth in secret. She was terrified I would leave her if I knew, that I wouldn't marry her, that our future would be over before it started. Ethan's father was an absentee figure, and her sister, the one she called Aunt Kathy, who lived in Denver, agreed to take Ethan in, raising him as her own, with Clara as the doting godmother. She visited Ethan every few months, paying his rent, school fees, and expenses with the money from our savings. It was a complete, well-oiled, and utterly devastating double life. I didn't want to lose you, Alex. I love you. I thought if enough time passed, I could bring him back, maybe introduce him as a nephew, and we could slowly integrate him. But I was scared. She wailed. Her explanation didn't elicit sympathy. It just solidified the depth of her selfishness. "You didn't want to lose me. You lost me the moment you chose deceit over honesty," I said, the coldness in my voice shocking even to me. "You have been lying to me every day for 15 years. You stole my trust, and you stole the funds meant for our children's future to support a secret life. And you deprived Ethan of knowing his mother was truly his mother, and you deprived me of knowing I had a connection to a boy who is now nearly an adult. The weight of all those lost years, all those missed milestones, crushed me. The rage finally broke through, not as screaming, but as a quiet, decisive finality. I told her it was over. There was no recovery from this. No amount of couples counseling could fix the broken foundation. I couldn't look at her without seeing the manipulation, the constant performance. I couldn't sleep next to her knowing she had spent the previous week playing house with a completely different reality. I immediately called an attorney. I had the undeniable proof of deceit, the financial records, and the secret son. I wasn't aiming for revenge, but for survival. I needed to protect Lily and Noah, and frankly, I needed to protect Ethan, who was the biggest victim in all of this. The immediate aftermath was devastating. I moved into a corporate apartment temporarily. Clara tried everything to save the marriage, pleading, bargaining, promising to cut off all ties to Ethan, which only disgusted me more. She had the audacity to suggest abandoning one son to save her marriage to the father of her other 2 children. It was horrifying. I insisted on telling the kids we were separating due to irreconcilable differences, sparing them the traumatic truth for the moment. Their sadness broke my heart, but continuing the lie would have destroyed them later. The next step was the hardest but most necessary. I went to Denver. I didn't want to be Clara's vengeful ex-husband. I wanted to be a figure of stability for Ethan. I contacted the sister, Aunt Kathy, and told her I knew everything. She was ashamed and deeply apologetic, explaining that she felt trapped by Clara's desperation and the love she had for Ethan, whom she truly considered her son. She set up a meeting with Ethan under the guise of being a family friend. Meeting Ethan was surreal. He was tall, quiet, and had his mother's eyes, but there was a guarded sadness about him. I spent 2 hours with him, talking about basketball, history, and college applications. I didn't reveal the full truth that day, not wanting to shock him. I only told him I was a good friend of his biological mother, and that I wanted to make sure he was taken care of. But I left my phone number and a promise to be a consistent presence in his life. I returned a month later, and with Kathy's permission, and a very difficult phone call with a now devastated Ethan, I revealed that Clara was his biological mother, and that his Aunt Kathy was not his biological parent. The relief, confusion, and anger that washed over his face were agonizing to witness. He was hurt, not by me, but by the years of deceit from the 2 women he loved. The divorce proceeded quickly. Given the undeniable proof of financial impropriety and the incredible depth of the lie, Clara was forced into a painful settlement. She retained some assets, but lost much of her standing. The worst consequence for her was the damage to her relationship with Ethan. He refused to speak to her for months, feeling betrayed by the mother and the aunt who raised him. I, ironically, became the bridge. I secured an apartment for Ethan to move into next year near a university in my city, offering him financial and emotional stability. Now, a year later, I am divorced. Lily and Noah are slowly adjusting, and while they miss their mother living in the house, they have stability. I have a new, tentative relationship with Ethan, my unturned son figure. We talk every week. He's a good kid, navigating the fallout of his unique, messy life. I took the shattered pieces of my old life and am carefully building a new one based on radical honesty and open doors. The betrayal hurt me deeply, but it also forced me to become a better, more assertive man. It led me to a relationship with a young man I would never have known otherwise. It's a bittersweet trade. So, here I stand, a man who survived a 15-year lie. I lost a marriage, but I gained clarity, dignity, and a very complex, yet rewarding, relationship with a new member of my family. The moral of my story is that the truth, no matter how painful, is always lighter to carry than a lifetime of lies. Like this video if you think I made the right call by exposing the lie and moving on. Subscribe for more stories of betrayal and resilience, and let me know your final thoughts on Clara's choices and my actions in the comments section below. Do you think Ethan will ever forgive her? I'll see you all in the next story.